Hi everyone, welcome back to the Southington K Factor. I'm joined by David Germano. He is the veteran assistant principal here at Southington High School, and we're going to discuss an issue that has been going on in American schools since the day of time, and to be exact, 1928, when the first U.S. school shooting happened. Mr. Germano, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Will.
To discuss this issue. The first question I want to ask you is, what measures are Southington High School administration taking to address school safety?
Well, as an administrative team, we certainly have 2,300 students here at Southington High School, as well as, well over 200 staff members. So safety is a concern in that spectrum for every students and staff alike. As administrators, we're ultimate process owners. We are responsible for everything. So that safety is certainly, in this day and age, and it always has been, of concern to us. So what do? We have established protocols in our faculty handbook for critical incidents, what the protocols are if a staff member sees a suspicious person, if a staff member witnesses an activity, what they're supposed to do. That then trickles down all the way down to what should the administration team do, what should the school resource officer do. So there are specific rules and protocols that exist in our faculty handbook. We do education programs with the staff, first of all, to talk about what is their responsibility in the event of a critical incident. We actually did some upgrade. Every year we upgrade that, revisit that. We have an ongoing working relationship, a very good one, with the Southington Police Department. There are many times that the officers that deal with emergency response teams come in, sit with us. We try to constantly review this building, which is very big, which has lots of challenges when you're talking about safety. And if we're talking, there's lots of areas where critical incidents could be described as. It could be somebody out of control. It could be somebody acting in a threatening manner. It could escalate all the way to an actual shooting is going on. Someone hears gunshots. I mean, there's such a diversity of what could be going on. You try to plan as many strategies and as many approaches so that people, first of all, the adults, know what they're supposed to do. Right on the heels of that are the students. As you well know, being a student here, we practice lockdown drills.
We do.
We generally do 2 a year. The one in the fall tends to be a little bit more structured, a little bit more open. We have a new 9th grade class each year that's it's 500 plus new students, so that we kind of walk everybody through that. Last spring, the first time, we did a lockdown drill during passing time, because and that one was to see, would people instinctually, with education, know what they're supposed to do. Simply put, we're trying to make the school look deserted within 20 seconds. We're trying to get everybody behind a safe locked door to the nearest protective wall. Short version of it. We did it during passing time. It was very successful for the first time, because it was conceivable that students could end up alone behind. In other words, in passing time, the adults are in motion. So that if someone said, code lock, the school is now in code lock, or there's a critical incident going on by the guidance department, people instinctively needed to get to the nearest place of safety. It was a variable. Now, we plan this spring, some of the initiatives we continue to plan this spring are to do another lockdown drill. We haven't done one yet where we have evacuated the building, for example. The next layer, when you get into an actual critical incident, is if you have to evacuate the building, accounting for students, do they know where to go, etc. So we're looking to move into doing an actual evacuation sort of drill. We're discussing that. The other thing we've been discussing is to do what's called a tabletop simulation. You would get all the representatives, the police department, the ambulance, the fire department, the school administration in a room, and let's do a simulation. If X happened, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? And try to coordinate everybody. So it's a complex task. It's a necessary task. It's an ongoing process. It's not like, okay, we've got it all worked out. Here's the rules, and we could rest now. We have seniors leaving every year. So we have a turnover, first of all, between adults and students every year. So we have to constantly do this so that as an administrative, someone who primarily does a lot of safety and security issues, I'm in constant dialogue. I'm constantly looking at increased technology. More cameras. We found the security cameras we've placed in the halls have been extremely effective at monitoring activity. So we would like to have more funding to add more technology in the building to help us. And obviously working with humans, working with students, working with people, social workers, psychologists, what information highways exist. You know, how do people get information that someone could be at risk, someone's troubled, you know, and right down to, you know, again, suspicious activity. So, well, it's a very, very large topic. A lot goes on. As an administrator who has responsibility, it's something I work on constantly. I would, you know, it's a school, and our primary job is education, to help you earn a high school diploma. That said, there's many, many other things society expects of us. So we try to find as much time, you and I even had personal conversations about this, to do. I would love to devote more time to do everything. I do the best I can given the huge responsibility and the established practices that right now seem to work. I do think, again, we're in as good a place as we can be given our size.
All right, the next question. Should an emergency arise, do you believe Southington High School students are well prepared?
I think they have a common knowledge of what I had said earlier. If they heard code lock, the school is now on code lock, or if they heard there's a critical incident going on by the guidance. Now, current philosophy, what I understand, current philosophy in law enforcement is to do, basically, you tell what the situation is. So that instead of code lock, the school is now on code lock, and people don't know really what's going on, you would say, I hate to be blunt, but there's a shooting going on by the nurse's office. That would trigger people, you know, if that went everywhere as a PA announcement, you know, people would know, okay, where it is, I got to get here, or I'm here, I don't go there. So I think what we did currently with the faculty in our latest upgrade with them, with training, was to do what's called plain talk. When you see something, report it for what it is. Now, I did not, in the current drill we did this fall with the students, do a plain talk type of drill. I did not do a drill where I used the old language was code lock, the school is now in code lock, to trigger students to get to the nearest protective wall and follow the directions of staff member. We have not done one yet with what I call plain talk, where we would simulate something, and I might say there's a shooting going on by the auditorium. I wouldn't do something like that until I really prepared the students and educated them, this is what this means. Okay. Now, that needs to happen over time. As I said to you, it's an ongoing process. Do I think students are prepared? Yeah, I think our students are a good group of kids. I do think what the police are a little bit more experts in this than myself. What they have taught me and what the literature has told me is that people will do what they're instinctively taught in a panic situation. So if students instinctively know, I need to get to the nearest protective wall, get behind that locked door and stay there. Stay there until a police officer comes and tells me it's okay to go. That's what I do. It's what I think instinctually we hope that's what students know that's what they need to do. If they're in the cafeteria, they need to know that we need to exit the building. Okay, but now first we have to figure, with plain talk would say where the disturbance is. Okay. Because as you know, the CAF has many ways out of there. And if we were trying to exit it out of one area, maybe the disturbance is there, so what's plan B? But I do think the students have a general sense of what their responsibility is in a critical incident.